It's been a month since we've been quarantined. Everything has gone to a standstill, and I keep waiting for any good news. And waiting, and waiting, and waiting. Supplies have gone low, and the only commodity that's worth more than money, toilet paper. My dog has been getting more and more ferocious as the days come. It scares me. It's been getting hard searching for any signs of hope as each day comes. But there's only one thing that's been troubling me the most. The one thing that's been keeping me up late at night since the very beginning.
How would sociologists think of all of this?
I mean, seriously, no one in a very long time has experienced something like this. Sure, there's been the housing market crisis in 2008, the Great Depression in the 1930s, but a sickness affecting not only people's livelihood around the world, but also the economy? Fascinates me. The complex issues of the virus leads me to the question, what would the three most significant figures of sociology, them being Karl Marx, Emil Durkheim, and Max Weber, think of the society at this very moment? So please join me as we take a look at the coronavirus in a sociological perspective. But first, a little bit of a warning. This video won't cover all the complexities of the coronavirus. It's going to be very broad, which means I'm gonna leave a lot of things out. That being said, I'll do my best to cover everything as much as possible. So, without further ado, let's get back to the video. A little background on the coronavirus. COVID-19 is a sickness caused by a new strand of coronavirus. Symptoms include fever, coughing, and redness of throat. The most at risk are the elderly and people who are immunocompromised, those who have cancer, for example. It was first documented at the end of 2019 in China, with Dr. Ling Wenyan as the main person for attempting to warn people about the illness. It didn't really hit America's attention until the beginning of March, where major sports events were closing down, and high-profile celebrities, like actor Tom Hanks, was tested positive for corona.
Hey, it's good to be here, though it is also very weird to be here.
What followed was the American president and state governments commencing isolation protocols.
Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic.
Emil Durkheim was a social scientist. Through his life, the one thing that kept him up late at night was how society comes and holds itself together. And religion was his most defining reason. To Durkheim, religion is society's core representation of itself, saying, "The totality of beliefs and sentiments common to the average members of a society forms a determinate system with life on its own. It can be termed the collective or creative consciousness. Furthermore, religion is, in a word, the system of symbols by means of which society becomes conscious of itself." So let's say there's two strangers. They don't know each other at all and have never met. But with one defining knowledge or common interest, let's say Christianity or any other religion, they can come together and bond because of that interest. We see this in other avenues of life, from sports fans celebrating in a bar, to superhero fans lining up together to see the next Marvel movie. The logic being that people coming together is religious, and the coronavirus has brought many people together, or at least suffering together. This generation of people across the globe are suffering from the same thing, and are forced to isolate themselves in their homes. From this, there's been people finding ways to connect with each other without contact, like singing together on balconies, and being creative through video calls, like orchestrating a major concert in their own homes. Durkheim would be blown away on how society is sticking together. And on the other hand, how it's not. Karl Marx was a philosopher, a social scientist, and a man with a really big beard. And most notably, he was the main thinker of communism. His main drive was the sinking question, how society changes and what tears it apart for something new and better. He saw before the Great French Revolution on how there was inequality in the economy and how there is a clear division in class. He thought that class is divided by owning a business or property that earns you money. So, the bigger the revenue you have, the more dominant you are from other classes. Marx saw the great big machine of capitalism to be an unfair one to those who don't already have a streamline of wealth. He said, if money is the bond binding me to human life, binding society to me, connecting me with nature and man, is not money the bond of all bonds? Can it not dissolve and bind all ties? Is it not, therefore, also the universal agent of separation? In our current state, we are all suffering under the same problem. However, we aren't suffering through it equally. This idea came to light when this video was posted.
Hey guys, day 6 in self-quarantine.
Actor Gal Gadot made a video with other known celebrities, Natalie Portman, Jimmy Fallon, Will Ferrell, and sang John Lennon's Imagine to uplift people around the world, saying that we are all in this together.
We're all in this together.
Soon after, people ridiculed the video, knowing that most of them are rich, wealthy people who are out of touch. One comment on the video said, everyone in this video can afford to sit this crisis out while the rest of us are in danger of losing our homes, jobs, access to healthcare, etc. But hey, at least they got together to sing this tune to comfort us. What a contribution! I feel better already. In Marx's point of view, the difference between celebrities and everyday people is becoming more apparent, highlighting not only the gap, but errors in the system. For example, we have celebrities like Kris Jenner who easily got tested fast 16 days after possible exposure to the virus, not showing any symptoms or sickness. With this, we have everyday people frustrated, if not outright furious, with people sharing stories like, my brother has a fever of 103 and respiratory problems. His co-workers tested positive for COVID-19. ER sent him home and told him, we don't have enough tests to test you, and told him to self-quarantine and not go to work. Yet Kris Jenner can test with no symptoms. The problem with affected demand, people who have the money exist. People who don't have the money don't exist. In the United States, unemployment rate due to the coronavirus climbed to 30 million people filing for unemployment. Those living paycheck to paycheck have to struggle with figuring out how to pay for rent, food, and providing for their families, while celebrities, as good as they may be, are trapped inside their own mansion. Though we do have celebrities trying to help people in need, like Ellen DeGeneres sending people money through Venmo.
If you saw your name on the screen, $250 has already been deposited in your account.
John Krasinski wishing college students a happy graduation.
Hi, Ben! How are you?
However, even after the virus disappears, just one day, the struggle for access to health care and money for people who really need it will still be treated unfairly for those who are lower class, while the wealthy don't need to worry at all. Like Marx, other than having a wonderful beard, Max Weber's life was driven on a question about capitalism. In 1864, Weber grew up to see his country dramatically change through the Industrial Revolution. Examining the change, Weber proposed what actually made capitalism possible was a set of ideas, particularly religious ideas. In his most notable work, The Protestant Ethic and the Spiritual Capitalism, Weber laid out some of the reasons why he believed Protestant Christianity had been so crucial to capitalism. In Weber's eyes, Protestant feelings of guilt were derived in an obsession with work, saying that working a job is made the purpose to receive divine everlasting life and be closer to God. This was what he called the Protestant work ethic. To put in perspective, people plus hard work equals the acceptance of God, feeling accomplished, and most importantly, getting the Benjamins. But what happens when something stops that person from working? Like I said, over 30 million people are unemployed, struggling to pay bills, and providing for their family. With a wall as big as the coronavirus, the need and purpose of working gets stronger by the day. In fact, many people across America protested, arguing to reopen the economy in order to get back to work. With many temporarily out of the job, it is hard to gain any traction with purpose. Work is, in a sense, where we belong and have a place in the world, according to Weber. From those efforts, some parts of America are reopening their businesses, getting people back to work. However, this push for work may indeed threaten the lives of millions for the spread of the coronavirus, seeing that testing for the illness is still getting set back from not having enough supplies to do testing, thus risking more life than there should be over work. This is the fifth take I did for this video because I don't know how to conclude it. If there's one thing that all these philosophers have in common, other than having fantastic beards, is that for each individual in America and everyone in the world, in every economic level, we're not doing so well. From the coronavirus, it's clear for Karl Marx that we have reached a pivotal point in America that shows the inequality of the economy for each level, that there is a major gap, major issues, and serious concerns about how people earn their money and wages in the economic system. With Max Weber, we have seen how society and the economy has changed over the vast period when a pandemic hits, and how the government controls the situation, or at least tries to handle the situation, in a bureaucratic way, while also showing how in a bureaucratic system the government still has flaws that still need to be fixed. And lastly, we have Durkheim, where we have seen society coming together throughout all societies from America to Europe. We have seen how people have come together during times of crisis, supporting one another when times are tough. Though times are tough and we are at our lowest point, this isn't going to last forever. I can't say how long this will take and how long you're going to be in the hole, but we will climb out of the hole eventually. And soon the pandemic known as COVID-19 or the coronavirus is going to be a thing in the past, or at least a memory or a moment in history that we can proudly say that we have conquered it. Unfortunately, that's the end of this video, and I really wish I could have talked more about the other issues in the coronavirus. That includes essential workers and the prison systems that we are currently having, including the people who are working in the front lines of the medical industry, but I'll leave that to you. What do you think about the whole situation in the coronavirus? Or if you're watching this in the future, what do you think of it now? This is me, logging off. And I hope that you're safe, I hope that you're okay, and I hope that you're washing your hands and being protective of yourself. Be safe. Take care. Hold on. This whole entire time I've been recording with this stand. This whole entire stand. This is a lamp. It took me a hard time to record this, so you better subscribe, okay? You better subscribe. Alright, goodbye.